podcast starts at 19 seconds.
Welcome to a new episode of Fit the Description, a Black Men's podcast, where various Black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various Black men's perspectives. I'm your host, G, and today we got B.
What's up, you guys?
And we may have some other people show up a little later into the podcast. So make sure on your way in, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to share the podcast so we can help build and grow this community. Also, make sure to check out the Clips channel because I know the podcast can be long. So to just get little snippets, make sure to check that out. It's on Fit the Description podcast on YouTube. And we're also on various different podcast platforms. We're on Spotify, Google, iTunes, Amazon. And we also added a new one, iHeartRadio. We are officially on iHeartRadio now. So all the links will be down below. Make sure to check out all the links. Oh, also, one more thing. Make sure to check us out on the Wisdom app. One thing I want to say about the Wisdom app that I forgot to say, if you came from the Wisdom app, I know I said I was going to do a live stream where I was going to invite guests on the 9th. And something personal happened, which I'll probably talk about it on the Wisdom app. So that's why I didn't have a podcast. Well, I didn't do that live stream. So for anybody who came from Wisdom that came to this podcast, I just want to apologize. My bad. But something serious happened, and that's why you didn't get that live stream on the Wisdom app. But if you want to hear different questions answered, or if you want to just hear me kind of talk about some of the things that go on behind the scenes, or just want to hear from me, check out the Wisdom app. Again, we're still trying to figure out what we want to do with that thing. We're still trying to figure out the content, but I do go on there sometime and talk, share my own personal thoughts, and maybe do some background on podcasts. So that's something that I'm doing on there. So if you want to check us out on the Wisdom app. As the recording of this podcast and looking at the time frame, this is actually the last podcast of the year. So with that being said, I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays for everybody who doesn't celebrate the holidays. We might have one more podcast in January. I'm going to see, but let me just let you know how this is gonna work. So with this episode right here, because by the time the second chapter comes out, it will basically be New Year's Eve, and since probably y'all are going to be, a lot of people are going to be out partying, having fun, I'm probably not going to release the second chapter next week, but probably the week after. So you will actually get the second chapter the first week of the new year. So, or it's the second week of the new year. Yeah, you'll get the first week of the new year. So with that being said, when the second chapter comes, I guess Happy New Year's. So if we do one more, which I might upload one more for January, that one will probably be just a random one that we do just to kind of update you on the future, what's going to happen throughout the next year. But that's a maybe. I don't know. We got to see. I don't know what's going to happen with that one. But we're going to try to do one more, and we're either going to upload it or not. We'll figure that out when it's time to. But with that being said, like I said, since this is the last podcast, I want to just sit down and just say to everybody who listened, all the new people, I want to thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for rocking with us. And again, we will be back next year with a new podcast. And just so you know, depending on how this works out, most likely, if we don't release another one after this podcast on YouTube, we will be gone until February. We won't be back until February. So we're going to basically take a month off. But if we do decide to do one more podcast in January, then basically what's going to happen is that we're only going to be gone a week. But for y'all on the audio platforms, you don't really have to worry about that. Actually, by the time this comes out, basically we're already in the new year, and you're just waiting for the next episode. So y'all don't really have to really worry about this because there's really no stops with y'all because you're already far behind and you're already at a delay. So because you're at a delay, if you're listening to this on the audio platforms, this is basically just another podcast. So you're not missing nothing. But for the ones that are listening to this on YouTube, there is a delay. So because of that, what we're going to do, because I got some other stuff I need to work on, again, go to the clips channel. Like I was saying, the clips, we're going to be uploading 4 clips a week in January since we're going to be gone. So just go to Fit the Description Podcast on YouTube or Fit the Description on YouTube. Go there, and then you'll get a bunch of clips. Basically, and all January, you're going to basically get 4 clips a week. So that should hold you down until we come back. Also, at that time, and me and B already was working on it, there's some new content that we're trying out that me and B already tried out, and we're planning on doing a couple of more. So if you want to check out that before we even put it on the main podcast, because I got to see if we want to do it or not. Oh, my phone, not the main podcast, but on the main channel, you got to check out the Patreon. I'm going to also start working on the cut content. So that's the next thing I'm going to try to work on. So yeah, so that's pretty much what's going to happen starting next year. I'll probably, if we do another podcast in January, I'll go into more detail about that. But that's basically what we're going to do while we're gone. So while we're gone, even though we won't be here, we will have more content coming out for y'all and new exclusive content on the Patreon. So make sure to check that out. But with that being said, this is going to be the last podcast of the year. So once again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. And thank y'all for rocking with us. We definitely appreciate it. We want to thank y'all and stick with us. You know, we got more coming, and we also got a big milestone next year, and I'm planning something big. But again, I'll talk about that next year. But with that being said, let's finish out this year strong with this podcast right here. And I don't think we talked about it this year, at least not much, but I want to just do a quick little topic on the update on basically investments and crypto a little bit.
Okay.
So, and first off, I want to sit there and say, we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice, especially with what happened. Well, I can't speak for B, but I know with me, kind of got screwed this year. So, yeah, if you want to lose your money, you can go ahead and listen to us, but we will not take the blame for it. Again, this is just our opinion, what we think about things. But yeah, and I only want to do this just because I've been getting clowned a lot from not too many people, but a couple of people talking about how do you feel about it now. And I'm just gonna say straight up, I still feel good about it, but I feel horrible about it. And yes, I lost a crap ton of money. Stocks is red, crypto is down. Like, I think I lost, what is it? If just guesstimating, I probably lost 2/3 of what I started with.
Right.
So I'm pretty in the red. And it's, yeah. This is one thing I'll say. The one thing I'll say about crypto that I'm not too mad about is the fact of, at least it wasn't crypto that there's a lot that are causing problems, but I can at least say when it comes to crypto, I can at least say it wasn't that crypto fell. It's more like the people who run it are making a lot of messes in crypto.
Right.
And if it wasn't for, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of happy because, like they say, that's kind of what needs to happen until you could clear out all the bad actors.
Right.
You clean things up. And they said, like, I guess every cycle it happens. Like, every time this happens, there's some bad actors. They come in, they mess it up, and then they do some bull crap and then get rid of them.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So to me, that's like the good, but I am worried because, again, I'm not sure about the government, because the government is talking a lot more about it, and like they said, there are some opportunists coming in, wanting to play their little games, and there is. So yeah, the government kind of has me worried. I mean, the only thing I'm happy is that Bitcoin is still standing strong. Like it went down, but it went back up. It's kind of staying where it's at, so that gives me some comfort, because I guess it's higher than what it used to be. So that's a good thing.
Right.
But yeah, I'll say this. If you're an investor in general, it's a bad time. But I'll also say this too. If you're a young investor, this is probably the best time to start investing if you can afford it. I understand that things are going to be bad, but like a lot of people said, when things are bad, it's the best time to buy. Because when things become good, well, you're going to benefit off the bad. So, but
Right.
anyways, B, you want to say anything about this? How have you been doing?
Yeah, man. I'm just pretty much just waiting out on the stuff. They're trying to, like I said, they're trying to just weed out a lot of the garbage. I think the best investments right now is just, I guess you could say the solid, like the solid project so far that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum, Cardano, Polked Up, Bitcoin, yeah, the cash like that, so forth, and just try to keep it to those solid projects for now.
Yep.
Because I said it's gonna be if with all these garbage coins, meme coins, there maybe it might have one, two more squeezes, maybe. But like I said, a lot of the problems is the people why these coins are down because the people running the show is shady to begin with, and they're not running their finances correctly. Um, so we just have to really pay attention. That includes these exchanges as well. They're not running these correctly.
Yeah.
So we honestly, there's really no way you could tell, or we're kind of lost in limbo. I don't care what no one said. No one knows what you're talking about. You know, it's just all speculations right now. No one truly knows. So if I was the listener, like I said, I'm not here to give financial advice or nothing like that. Not like I said, I'm not a crypto expert. I'm not a stock expert, or I'm not in the financial field or have any of these certificates that qualify me as a financial person. All I'm just saying is, just play safe, and pay attention, and be prepared to pull out when things go bad. Just be prepared because a lot, especially with these crypto exchanges. I mean, a lot of people lost a lot of money over their because we couldn't withdraw or transfer our coins to a wallet or something like that.
Okay. Hold on.
A hardware
I got
wallet.
I
Yeah.
got to speak on that. I
Yeah.
got to chime in because I got to admit something. So, and it happened to me twice. It happened to me with Voyager. It happened to me with BlockFi, and it kind of happened to me. I forgot the other one, but it happened to me 3 times, and twice this year. I forgot the other one that happened to me, but it happened to me 3 times already. And basically, when they say not your coin, not your wallet, that's a hard lesson I had to learn this year. So my recommendation, and again, this is not advice, but this is my recommendation: get your coins off the exchanges, because I learned that the hard way. This is the reason why I learned it the hard way. It is because, and B knows, because I told him about it, because I was the one telling him to get it off of there. But of course, me being stupid, I'm like, oh, well, let me stay because I'm earning interest. It might be okay. I'll get a few of them off, but I'll be fine. No. I did that crap, and now Yeah, I lost a lot of money in crypto, a lot.
Yeah, man. Oh man. Uh, and also, you guys, this is a good time to get your paper up and put yourself in a position to buy once the market recovers again. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen in 2023 or in 2024. Who knows? But there's a time for us men, especially as black men, to get our paper up. Put get yourself in a good position to put your hand to the pot and grab something.
Yeah.
A lot of opportunities don't happen like this. It might happen once in your lifetime. Who knows? So,
And this is one thing I'll say about that. And again, this is a good lesson I think for beginning investors. I mean, heck, I'm technically a beginning investor. Especially if you don't know what you're doing, don't try to time the market. Just get in when you can, because if you try to time it,
right,
you're gonna be left out. Like it's
right,
hard to time the market. So you're just better off just especially right now, just putting your money in. Do your research. Look into what you're investing into, whether it's crypto or stocks or whatever. Do your research. And like I said, from my understanding, I just want to say this because this is what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. But from what I've heard, like B said, we don't know if the market's going to turn around 2023. From what I've heard, it's probably not going to go back to normal to 2024, 2025. I could be wrong. But also, if you're into real estate, you can afford to do real estate. From my understanding, it's getting close to that time where it might be a good time to start looking at investing in some housing if you want to get into it. But again, this is what I heard. This isn't necessarily coming from me. This is just me doing my research. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so it's on you to do your own research. But this is just what I've heard. I'm just letting you know what I've heard and just giving you my opinion.
right. No, that's correct. Yeah, that's what I heard as well. Not saying they were right or not. you know. Oh, give me 1 second, you guys.
All right, well, I'll take this over. So when it comes to investing and crypto and all that stuff, again, I learned the hard way, and I'm going to be honest with you, I lost a lot. And even in stocks, like all my stocks right now, because I do have some stocks, but they're all red. I'm losing a ton of money. Trust me, I'm pretty bad. I mean, everything I look at is red. I ain't made no gains. I just took a bunch of losses.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Nah, it's cool. That's the thing, though. That's the thing when you play games like this. It's high risk, high reward. If you want to play the risky game, when things are good, you're gonna be rewarded well. But when things are bad, you gotta be willing to lose it all. And that's why they say never invest what you're not willing to lose.
All right.
And trust me, I lost a lot, but I ain't crying about it because I made this decision. I said, hey, I wanted to try to change my life, and I made the decision. And like I said, I mean, I may be right, I may be wrong, but again, I'm gonna go through this rocky time and hope that I can get through this storm because again, like I said, I nothing to lose, everything to gain. So I'm just like, forget it. Let's just go full in. So I'm still sticking with crypto. I'm still sticking with my investment. I'm still gonna try to invest. And yeah, I mean it is what it is. But that's all I got to say. Like I said, it's a risky game. I'm not here to lie to y'all. I like, oh, I nah, like, like I said, I probably lost, guesstimating about 2/3 of all my money, all my investment, about 2/3 of all my investments. So I lost a lot. I'm pretty bad. I ain't seeing a lot of zeros anymore. I'm seeing about hundreds. I'm not even 1,000 anymore. I'm in the hundreds. That's how bad it is. It's pretty bad for me. So yeah, like I said, I'm just letting you guys know because that's our plan. I don't think we talked about it this year, so I just wanted to give you a quick investment update. But yeah, go ahead, Beeve. I'll let you say your piece if you want to.
Yeah, and yeah. Well, I just have to the final thing is, guys, don't put your whole life savings into this, you guys. A lot of people did that. I just pray that they're alive today. Oh no, always invest. Always invest in what you can actually afford, you guys. Don't don't hurt yourself in investing, guys, because especially if you're new and you don't know what you're doing, there's always invest in what you're comfortable in and what you're willing to actually lose. And I think if you do it that way, just a small this percentage, it could be 10% of your paycheck every time you get paid for something. I'm just throwing out a number. It could be
Dollar
5, 3.
cost average is what that's
Yeah,
called. Yeah,
dollar
basic
cost average. Correct.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and basically what that is, just so you know, and this is something I heard that's recommended for new investors, that whenever you get a paycheck, just put a little bit in or put a small percentage in.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So like every time you get some money, put like $1 or $10 or whatever. Just keep putting it in gradually.
Right. Do it that way, and then you should be fine, man. Should be fine. So, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. I think for now.
So there's a message that I saw that you posted. I guess I kind of want to get your thoughts. So this is what it is. What somebody said was, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. And this is what you said. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. The the people that spew such nonsense don't want to take responsibility of bad partners they picked up in life. And I wanted to see, why do you think that?
Yeah. So that was said because we're acting like femininity, masculinity is some type of on and off switch. Is some type of like that's something that we can control innocence, and that's just not the case. If you're in pain, you're just poor met. You have masculinity in you. It's just like if you're a female, you have more femininity in you. It's just how it is. You're always talk about human nature. Well, that's practically it. Men are born masculine, females are born feminine. There's nothing that we could ask. There's nothing that we could do about it. There's nothing that we could control. There's not some type of on switch. Now, that we're trying to. They put drugs in us. They put steroids and all that other stuff to try to all balance it, but that's going to your mental now. That has nothing to do with masculine or femininity. If you're acting a nut, that's all mental. You gotta go see a doctor. All these people is saying, this is toxic masculinity. No, 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 no. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity, because all men are masculine. Every single man on this planet is masculine. We have masculinity in us. Then you're practically saying all men are toxic. but where this is all stem from? Why do you say that? Because the people that you deal with and pick in your life were bad choices, and that had nothing to do with masculinity. You just deal with bad people. Everyone who's complaining about masculinity or femininity, that has nothing to do with anything. You're just dealing with bad people. Period. She has a shitty personality. She has characteristics. That's it. She has a mentality. That's it. Or he has a mentality. That's it. That's it. It had nothing to do with masculinity or femininity. Those are all traits that you're just born with, you know. And that's why that's why those two traits attract each other, because that's nature and law. You know, that's why a woman who knows what she is, a woman. That's why a man is easy men to fall in love with that type of woman, compared to a woman who sees a masculine man. You know, a manly man. You know, but that's nothing. We can't control that. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now you have an attraction. Now you gotta see what type of person you're dealing with. That person has a shitty personality or not. And if they do, you should be wise enough to know not to mess with that person. And if you do, that is your fault. That is your fault. You know, if I see a feminine woman and she in a have a crappy personality, and if I go into her and got her pregnant or whatever, that's my fault. That's not femininity's fault. That's my fault. I made that decision. So that's what I was practically saying in that post. Is everyone who's complaining about masculinity, or men complaining about femininity, they're just mad because they made bad choices. That's all.
Okay, so hold on real quick. Yo, Keez.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. What's up, man?
Well, first off, Bluetooth need they butt whooped. I mean, Zoom need they butt whooped for the Zoom problem that I'm actually was sitting here literally Googling and researching, and other people are having this problem. Like, this is something that shouldn't be this difficult. Like, it shouldn't be this difficult to use a Bluetooth while you're on Zoom. Like, why is that a problem?
Oh, what's the issue?
Sorry. I'm upset.
We could tell.
I've been sitting here this whole time looking up YouTube videos. They got clearing cache, clear your Bluetooth data, all kind of crazy stuff. But it's like, why you have to do all this? And every other app is fine. It's just Zoom. And none of that stuff worked, by the way.
Well,
and then I'm getting frustrated, so I didn't even I couldn't even take the time. Like, then I was flipping through this big old article. Like, I don't want to read this big old use this guide. Like, this is like a 20-page guide to connect to Bluetooth. Like, are you serious? Like, it's about to be 2023. Why is this an issue? Why is this an issue? Like, this makes no sense. Then start saying something about hands-free, turning off hands-free mode, or it's like, where is that even at, and why is it a thing?
Right. Wow.
And
That's
I'm looking like, is there like audio options or like you could push it shows that it's connected to Bluetooth and you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you. So it's stupid. Like it's dumb, man. It's freaking dumb. Like that's something that should be so freaking simple to do.
right.
Like I don't get that. Like I need somebody to help me figure this out because this is driving me nuts. I literally got a new Bluetooth thinking like, oh, it's because of my Bluetooth. No, it's not because of my Bluetooth. It's because Zoom sucks.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Woosah, man. Woosah.
Are y'all using? If you don't believe me, connect your Bluetooth headset and try to freaking use Zoom. You'll see my pain.
I'm good, bro.
Fair enough.
Man.
Well, it's good to hear you on because I could definitely hear the frustration in your voice.
Very frustrated. I got a headache. I'm hot. I'm thirsty. What is with women in freaking heat, man? Jesus Christ! I'm in this car. I got on a jacket. It is not that. I mean, it's 120 degrees inside the car. I'm up here just dying. I'm opening the window, trying to get some air. Ain't that much. Who needs that much heat? I never turn on the heater. I don't care. Even when I'm cold, I just put on a blanket. Nobody needs that much heat. Whew. You know what? That's why I was such a good boy. You know, I did everything I was supposed to because they told me there was fire in hell, and I hate the heat. Okay, let's do year round. Winter time? I'm good. Fall, winter, I'm good. I do not like to be hot. I can't stand that mess, man.
Nah, bro, you're on your own with that one.
Yeah, pretty much you are.
I'm
I need my
sorry,
tropical weather, bro.
bro. You know, said that's because y'all are closer to y'all African roots. I'm not, bro. I'm not close. I'm not that close to the roots, man. I'm sorry, but you know, if it's cold, I could put on a blanket and I could go to sleep and I could hibernate. But when it's hot, you can't sleep. I can't mess with something you can't sleep in. You can't sleep when it's hot. You be frustrated. You be turning the pillow over to the cold side and you try to save it as long as you can before you put the pillow over. Then you be touching that metal part at the end of your bed that's a little cold, just to try to get some cold air. Hell, a genius might be like, you know what? Let me go just get in this bathtub real quick and just lay in the bathtub with no water in it, just so they could get cool. Like it's freaking heat is no joke, man. Ain't nothing good about being hot, man. Nothing. I don't see a good reason for heat ever. Except, you know what? I take that back. Recently, I had a back issue, and the heat helped my back. That was it. That's it. Heat for backs. I'm all for it. Heat anywhere else, forget that mess. I'm cool with. I am. Sorry, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. The Zoom and the heat is killing me right now.
Oh my god, it's funny.
Okay. Are you good, man? Can we continue? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anything else you gotta get off your chat before we go?
Yeah, screw Zoom.
Well, I mean, you already said that.
Can't even use a Bluetooth. Like, what the hell? It's 2023. Everything else can use this Bluetooth, but Zoom. And I look all crazy because you guys can hear me and I can't hear you. Like, why is that even a thing? Like, why is that a function? Like, why does that exist? What? Who would want to do that? Who would want to just talk in their Bluetooth and not hear anything? Who? Who? Why would that work?
Oh.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
That's cool, man. All right. So to catch you up
Fuck
on
you,
things,
Zoom. Okay, I'm done.
so to catch you up on things, right now, basically, B made a post talking about this notion as toxic masculinity or toxic femininity, and I just was asking him why does he feel that way?
It's a post about toxic femininity.
No, B. Actually, my fault. I didn't say he made a post, but he answered a post about this notion as toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. I was just asking him why he feels that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're saying that somebody's saying that their femininity is making them do bad things?
No, I just said it. the
No,
what?
that's what it sounds like. That's why I'm trying to get you to reiterate. I
Well,
can't.
no. Basically, he responded to a post saying there's no such thing as toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. So basically, on that note, I mean, I guess I'll say this. Um, I sort of agree with kind of what you said. I think it's kind of either or. Either either both can be toxic, or there's no toxicity at all, and just people are bad people, which is what I believe. I believe more in toxic people than like a toxic, like basically like toxic sexuality. I think everybody has some kind of. I do believe like people have certain toxic traits that just kind of like just kind of sticks with them for like who they are. But I don't think like, but I kind of agree where it's like I don't necessarily agree with toxic masculinity and toxic femininity, especially in the case of we can talk all day about toxic masculinity, but we never really hear about toxic femininity, or that doesn't get called out like it should. So it's kind of hard for me to believe in something that's only one sided when both people can hold very toxic traits. But just for me, it's like I don't know if I agree more with that, but I just believe that people can't be toxic just in general. So
Yeah.
I do believe in toxicity. Like I even believe that yes, you can't even. I mean, I'm sure y'all met those couples that like they love each other, but like they bring the worst out of each other. Like they're just not. They should not be together.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I do believe that people can be toxic in general, but I don't think I agree with it in a sense of it's bound to a sexist. Like are there certain like are there certain
There
traits
are
that,
certain. Oh,
hold
my
on,
bad.
yeah. So are do I believe that there may be certain traits that may be tied to certain people? Yeah, but I just think that's just toxic traits. But that doesn't mean that you're necessarily just toxic. I think the toxicity is more tied to more you as an individual than like your sex. Yeah. But yeah, but go
And
ahead. I mean, Keith. All right. Hold on, go ahead, B. What were you gonna say?
that my friend is the person that you're dealing with is and their characteristics is what makes a person toxic.
Yeah.
Well, my thing about that is there are certain traits that are more prone to the female chromosomes or male chromosomes.
Yeah.
So that's where that toxic femininity or toxic masculinity comes from. So I think of gender in that sense, and the scientific way, not the way that the world sees it, where there's like a 20 billion genders. But I'm not going to get into that. So there's, but you could have some of those, you could have those feminine traits can be learned, masculinity traits can be learned, and that's kind of what it boils down to. Just like let's say if you bring up a male like a female, so far as they can't do this, they can't do that, and they're brought up by predominantly women. Well, to men who have been brought up by predominantly men, they will kind of have a clash. They will kind of tend to maybe look down on that other guy because they might say he might have feminine ways based off of how they feel a man should be. Because you got those guys who feel like a man should be able to finish working on a car and not wash his hands and eat a sandwich. I'm just not that kind of guy. So you know, and they'll say that's more masculine. You know, it's that people got their traits and stuff, but so far as like what's actually masculine, you know, this, you know, I'm talking about traits like male egos, how men are more logical, women mature faster, women also are emotional. Those are traits that happen and they become toxic when they become overpowering. Like if you're overly emotional, you know, that's normally, you know, considered a female trait. You know, if you're overly emotional,
But if you take it too far, it can become toxic. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And the same thing with masculinity. Masculinity is like, okay, man is more dominant and they're logical and they just wanna, you know, if a woman goes too far, then now you gotta deal with the male ego because the male gotta feel like he's the man. He gotta feel like he's needed, he gotta feel like he's in charge to feel like he's a man. So then now it becomes a toxic thing if they take that too far, you
Yeah.
know, if they go too far. So I think when it comes to, you know, that stuff, that's where it kind of comes from. It kind of comes from the actual feminine traits and male traits. And when you take it to the extreme level, then it's masculinity and then it's femininity, you know.
You mean toxic masculinity, toxic
Yeah,
femininity?
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah. No, yeah, and yeah, and that's kind of why I say it's more individualist and it's just catered to like a sex in general. Now, I will say this: are there certain traits that like maybe like are there certain toxic traits that may be more towards men because like you said like that dominant nature, yes, because that's more of a male thing, or you know being like hyper emotional to the point where you can't even function, yeah, that may be lean on women, but that's when you take it too far, you know.
Right.
So yes, in those situations, yeah, I will say that, but even in those situations, even with that explanation, I still feel like it's still, I say toxicity still is more on an individual nature, not just entitled to sex. But I will agree, like yeah, there are certain traits that can't become toxic that are tied to certain sexes. So in that sense, yeah, I can agree in that sense. But I still don't just like. But I guess I don't like it where it's just blanket on just people. Where it's like, oh, there's toxic. Oh, you're a man and you have these traits. You're just toxic. Or a woman, you have these traits. Well, number one, we don't even talk about toxic femininity. And like I
Well,
said, that goes
yeah.
and that goes back to my whole entire point where I can't even believe in that if we can't even call it the other side. If you can call it, if the other side came and admit when they have problems and what makes them toxic, then we can't even have a conversation. So I won't even entertain the toxic masculinity part if we can't at least have a conversation. Or if you, I should say, if the other side to this conversation can at least look at themselves and say, yeah, there's some toxic femininity traits too, which we don't ever hear that argument ever talked about. So
Hmm. Men could have toxic women feminine ways too, just like the women can, and it shows too. You like it shows within their, you know, you see, you know, you see those, but a girl that's more butch, and you know that she is, you know, it
yeah.
kind of, and the same thing with guys, you know, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they swing the other way. It could just be one of their traits for whatever reason,
Yeah,
you
but that's
know.
a little different from being toxic. I wouldn't call that necessarily toxic.
Yeah, I'm saying it, but it can turn into that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
but any emotion or whatever can turn into
Right,
something toxic.
but right, but if I think they're more referring to like the natural traits, like the natural, like when a man has those traits of a woman, you consider that a natural, and vice versa.
Yeah,
So,
but
but
that has nothing to do with toxicity. But yeah, but again, there are more traits that are more catered to certain sexes because that's just our makeup. But again, any trait can be toxic if it goes too far, no matter what it is. You know, like what's that? What is it? Too much of a good thing could be turned into a bad thing. Saying like for example, like they say vitamin C can save your butt, but if you take too much vitamin C, it could kill you. You know, or like when what I was dealing with not too long ago. One of the things that they told me was you know I cut down salt, and they basically said you cut down too much salt. I need to start eating more salt again.
hmm.
So yeah, so that's the thing. Like too much of a good thing can be bad, but too little of a good thing too can also be bad. I mean, I think just at the end of the day, and this is just my conclusion, that anything can be toxic if you take it too far. It's that simple. So I just don't, but I will say yes. I mean, I do know like what they're talking about is traits, but I just don't think it should just be a blanket statement. But I do understand yes, they're talking about traits that are more catered to your sex, like men being dominant, that could go to toxic, or women being too emotional, that could become toxic. Absolutely. But that's why I say I don't look at it as like a sex or a blanket thing. I just think it's individual by individual, but there are certain traits that can turn toxic that is more common to your sex or common to your background.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you guys have nothing to add, we can move on.
We can move on.
And I know Keez been wanting to talk about this for a while. And I'm gonna bring it up because I'm sorry, man. I feel like my childhood is starting to die. Like,
Yeah.
I am freaking sad, dude, because I'm not sure. I mean, this actually happened a couple of weeks ago, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it. But man, not only did we lose Batman, we also lost the Green Ranger. I want to say in like almost the same week, or like only a couple of days after each other.
Yep. Well, was it only a couple of days?
It was like I want to say I don't even think it was. I think it was like I think it was only like a couple of days, or maybe a week from each other.
Probably a week.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, either a week or just under a week. But yeah, it was not that far from each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, we lost the '90s anime series Batman. It's called Kevin Conroy, and we lost JDF, Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger. In my personal opinion, the greatest Power Ranger to ever grace the screens.
I agree.
And I'm just like, dang, like it feels like my entire childhood is just dying right now. Like those were really big shows for me.
Then also the Green Ranger, did he come back in a later Power Ranger series?
Yeah, he did.
He's like the Black Ranger or something like that.
This is the Forever Ranger, dude.
Go ahead.
Huh?
So he's the Forever Ranger, man. He's literally he's been in Power Rangers so much. That's his identity. That's his DNA. Like this dude's been a Ranger since the first one, and then and if he's not a Ranger in the next one, he does a cameo.
No, that's not necessarily true.
I've seen him in ones where he wasn't even a Ranger. He was more like a Zordon.
No, yeah, that one I know exactly what. Yeah, he did become a Ranger.
Right.
Yeah. No. He pops up because like he's been gone for a while, but he pops up every now and again.
Right.
Yeah.
But even with that being said, even when he pops up, he still is the greatest Power Ranger of all time. And just to let you know, so
right.
I'll go through his history real quick. And so basically, Tommy, he wasn't part of the first. Yeah, he wasn't part of the first team. But basically, he was the sixth Ranger. And honestly, he was the coolest. In my personal opinion, he was the coolest Ranger out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I know a lot of people don't know this, but I don't know if you guys remember VR Trooper. But but he was there's actually a promo that you could find. He was actually going to be the lead in VR Trooper, but since he was so popular, they brought him back. So he was the Green Ranger, and then wound up having to lose his powers because his powers went away. Then he got brought back as a White Ranger with the White Tiger sword and became the leader of the Power Rangers, which I ain't gonna lie, if you ever watched that story, I actually looked back at it just a couple of days ago. It was kind of weird because you had the Red Ranger, Jason, that was still there, was technically the leader. So that was kind of weird that he took his position. But Jason did wind up leaving. So it kind of made sense after a while. But that was just a weird thing to happen.
Right.
Then after that, the command center got the command center. No, they got turned into kids, And so he was a kid for a while. Then the Commander Centers got destroyed, and then he wound up becoming the Red Zeo Ranger. And then from the Red Zeo Ranger, they had a movie, and he became the Red Turbo Ranger. Then he went. Then he went away for a while. He came back in Wild Force as in Forever Red. That was his first time returning.
Okay.
And again, even there, you could kind of tell that he was the greatest Ranger of all time, in my personal opinion. I mean, to me, the top 2 Rangers of all time, in my personal opinion, that just transcend Power Rangers, is Tommy, and then number 2 has to be Jason, in my personal opinion. So you go after that. Then I guess he goes away for a while. Then he comes back in on what is it called? Dino Force as the Black Ranger.
Yeah. Okay. It's Dino Force. I was trying
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Dino Force, and then he comes back as a Black Ranger, and that's what Keith was saying when he was like the Zordon figure. You know, he came back as a teacher.
Yeah.
Then he went away for a while. I want to say he came back. I think it was like the Power Rangers War. I didn't watch that, but he basically came back as the Green Ranger for that. Then left again, and I think he came back in what's it called? Because I was looking all this stuff up. He came back. I think it was his Super Mega Force. No, that's the one where he came back as Green Ranger. But he came back in one other one. And he basically came back with the Master Morpher, where he could turn into all his old Ranger forms except for the Turbo. That's the only one he didn't turn into. Which honestly, if you look back, they did say that Power Rangers Turbo was probably the worst season of Power Rangers. I think it was the worst season of Power Rangers last I checked. So,
wow.
And actually, that was the season that they were going to kill off Power Rangers as a whole until Power Rangers in Space happened, which I actually watched that series. That was actually pretty good. So, but that's kind of the history of this dude. So, yeah, I was kind of looking him up for a while. I'm like, damn. So, and then he also has one more movie coming out called, what is it? The Legend of the White Dragon. So, and basically it's like it's basically, I guess, it's supposed to be kind of like a more mature form of Power Rangers in a way. And that is his last movie.
And he hadn't done anything in a while, so it's probably a big deal.
Well, I mean, I think he did a lot of convention. Actually, okay, so that's another thing. He also was doing MMA, because I don't know if people know, but he was a martial artist.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was an actual martial artist. Like, no joke. Like, this dude, I think he had like multiple black belts. He was doing martial arts for decades.
Right.
Yeah, he started doing MMA.
Yeah. He actually won his first match, by the way.
Right. He started doing MMA. What the hell?
He did a convention circuit, so he was doing a lot of that too.
Yeah. And don't forget with he fought Rio and Scorpion. And,
yeah. And
was it Bad in the Sun?
Yeah, Bad in the Sun.
Yeah.
That's actually it's because of that brought, what is it? I actually played the game too. I actually played the game, but that's the reason why Ryu and Chun-Li got into the Power Ranger game. It's because of that trailer.
Okay.
No, I mean because of that series. Because of that series, that's why you had Ryu. That's a Rio. That's
Ryu. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I always say Rio too.
Yeah, I never done that before. It's my first time doing that.
Okay.
But yeah, Ryu and Chun-Li, that's how they wound up in the Power Rangers game. It's because of that series. Because he fought Ryu in that series, and then they brought him into the Power Rangers game.
Oh, that little YouTube boy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You know, I was gonna bring up the MMA thing, but you already brought it up. That also, it didn't make sense that the way it happened, because this dude does nothing but spread positivity. And I didn't get that. That shit was crazy to me. Like, he was even going around. I don't know how much you guys follow, but he was going around to mom and pop shops and he was signing stuff. It was to the point where I have a few Green Ranger stuff, and I was trying to look up and try to pinpoint where he was going to be because I wanted him to sign my Green Ranger. And I was really excited about it because he was literally just going. A lot of the stuff he was doing it for free, so forth for the to help out the shops that basically wanted to get a lot of customers. And he would show up and he would sign some stuff and talk to some fans to kind of bring business to these places. And he was doing this on his own, you know. And then after a while it turned into a tour. I don't know if he got some sponsorship, but he started off doing it on his own. And
Wow.
I thought that was amazing because I was just waiting to get my Green Ranger signed, man. I got this really dope Green Ranger. That's like it's a nice one. It's not one that you can get in a regular store. It's like got the Power Ranger fabric of the outfit and everything like that. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's about a 6 scale, I think. Oh man,
Did you been had it or you just bought it recently?
no, I've been had it.
Oh, okay. So it's like an antique at this point.
No, not had it that long.
Okay,
I had
okay.
it like I had it. I mean, when I say I've been had it, I mean I had it before he passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like I even have I have one of his Funko Pops too. That recently just went up in price.
Wow.
But I've always been that. He's always been my favorite Ranger. When he turned into the White Ranger, I liked him even more then.
Right.
When he turned into the White Ranger, you can't deny White Tiger was just cool, man. It was Swiss. I like to introduce you to Saba. He had a sword, cool sword. He had a better droid. I mean, he was just like off the chain when he became the White Ranger. It was crazy.
I mean, I don't know. That's the big debate right now. Who's better, the Green Ranger or the White Ranger? I personally want to throw in there because I forgot to put him in here. What about Draken? That's another thing that he played.
Yeah,
That was
I mean, that's like the Akuma of Rangers, though.
That's what?
That's like the Akuma of Rangers.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
like the
much.
Akuma of Rangers right there. That's
Yeah.
Akuma. You know, if you want to compare that, you're gonna have to say, you know, you really can't put him in a category. That's more of a, you know, because of that, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean he's basically just so people know, Draken is basically that basically comes from the comic book. That's where he's from.
Yep.
From the new Boom comics. I mean, I didn't like when he got all the newer powers. Like I didn't like how he changed the costume, but I did like the original, you know, the Green Ranger mixed with the White Ranger, like and made that design. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be playing with him on that fighting game.
Yeah, I know. I can't stand that fighting game. I actually put that shit up on my gaming channel, and I hate that fighting game. That crap is
Why?
difficult. That's just difficult.
It's actually not that difficult. I mean, it takes some getting used to. I'm not like dope at it or nothing.
Heck no, dude. I'm trying to play through the story mode, man. I basically deleted that crap because I got so pissed off. I was freaking angry. Hold on. We'll hold that. We'll hold that off for the next podcast.
All right.
Yeah, we'll hold that off because we still got to get on Batman. Come on, man.
Oh, real
Speaking of
quick.
Batman, guys,
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. Do you think they should retire the Green Ranger?
That's why I was looking it up, and basically, I can't find the article, but I found a video. But basically, his daughter wants to come back and play the Green Ranger. Like she said, like she wants to be a Power Ranger. She wants to be the Green Ranger. So
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So yeah, so most likely his daughter's going to be in Power Rangers one of these days. So especially now because I guess that they actually ended their deal with the Japanese side of things. So now I guess I guess America's gonna start producing the episodes themselves. So So no longer will we be taking Japanese footage and then merging it with like American stuff. Now we're just going to create our own Power Ranger show. Well, here in New Zealand.
Took them long enough.
Uh-oh. I will be happy, but during this time period, I don't know, man.
Right.
I don't know about that.
Right.
So that might be a bad.
Yeah, but all right. I kind of gotta move this forward because we still gotta talk about Batman, man. But not only did we lose the Green Ranger, man, we lost Batman.
Yeah.
We lost Batman, dude. Like, that was our Batman.
Everything about that Batman and the anime series, man, is absolutely to perfection, bro.
I would honestly say that's probably one of the great. No, that is, to me, that whole entire like DC anime universe is the greatest. Like, it's solid every step of the way, and it's so good that, don't get me wrong, because I know at the time I would say X-Men, maybe X-Men probably is the closest. Spider-Man, it was cool, but it had some question. There's some questions with it. Like, I always question, like, why are they using laser guns? But Batman, nah. Batman was raw. And don't get me wrong, there's some things about Batman I could not understand. Like, because I was just too young. But you could go back now and watch that original series and watch anything that he was, and it still holds up to this day.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, it still holds up.
I hear it, man.
I mean,
even for like the intro song, man, like you just knew, man. Like it was time to put everything down, watch that, bro.
Dude, you talk. I mean, Saturday. What was it, like Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I love Batman. Like, and again, man, his voice was just perfect. I mean, there's all these other voice actor after him, but Kevin Conroy is Batman. That voice is legendary, dude.
Yeah, because that's like all the other Batmans after him just it didn't do like Kevin, bro.
Yeah.
It didn't do like Kevin. I'm trying to think of all the other Batmans that came after. Nah, he is Batman.
He is Batman.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
They could say he's Batman, but nah. Like, when I think of like the voice of Batman, I think of his.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said before, dude, like I said, I had the original Batman toy. I mean, the original Batmobile. And not that, I even had the Batman toy, where basically, I don't even remember if it's Batman Forever or the original one, where basically you could just be regular Bruce Wayne, and then all you do is just combine the cape, and then you had the Batman. You had like the Batman like cape and like the head on Batman. You just put on Bruce Wayne, and then you get Batman.
Did I have that figure? Oh,
I know I did. That figure was tight.
God, I know I had. I did have a Batman figure of the anime Batman series.
I think I had it because it came with the Batmobile, if I remember. I think one came with the Batmobile.
I think I had a Batman for every for every Batman back then. The anime series, all the Batman movies.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't have it like that. I think the only one I want to say is Batman Forever. I think was the anime, because I know I had the anime one. I had Robin, and I had the Batmobile.
Robin.
Yeah, I had Robin. I had the what's it, the Batman anime series was like season 2 or season 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had that Robin. So I had the Robin toy, I had the Batman toy, and I had the original Batmobile.
Okay. I know I have the Batmobile, that's for sure. And I think I have the figure too, the Batman that rides. But yeah, I think did it come with a Batman, or did I have to buy that separate?
I could have sworn it came with the Batman. Cause I had an animated one too, but I think that one came with it. If I remember right, maybe it didn't, but I thought it did.
Yeah. Gotta.
But yeah, I used to love that Batmobile, man. That was my Batmobile. I had so much fun with that thing.
Oh man!
And then I had a Batman that had like a hook that you could shoot and hangs on trees. I had a Batman toy that did that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I
don't want to. When it comes to Batman with hooks, I cringe each time I hear that, because was it Batman Forever, the video game?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that game gave me nightmares, bro. Oh, that game was terrible.
Oh, I also had the Nightwing figure, and I had the Creeper.
Okay, I never had Nightwing.
I had Nightwing and I had the Creeper.
I think I had a figure of Batman Beyond.
Oh no, I didn't have Batman Beyond. Cause I didn't really like Batman Beyond. I actually had to watch Batman Beyond again to kind of get, but I didn't really like him. I wasn't a fan. A lot of people like Batman, but I loved his villains. I wasn't a big fan.
I'm sorry. Batman Beyond again.
I was not a big fan of Batman Beyond. Don't get me wrong. I thought he had some of the greatest villains. I loved his villains, but I wasn't a fan of I was not a fan of Terry McGinnis.
Oh my God.
I wasn't a big fan of Batman Beyond.
I'm going to go on mute before I fill up.
I thought the costume, especially thought the costume looked cool. That's why I got the action figure.
Everybody did. I didn't like the costume.
I thought it was cool.
I didn't like the costume. I love his villain.
The best part. The costume was the best part.
Not to me. Not to me. I hated his long ears. I hated that. I didn't like him. I like the original. I like the original one. I like the Bruce Wayne Batman. Didn't like him.
I actually recently started rewatching Batman Beyond, but I wanted to stop it to watch the other one. But I was watching it because I finished binge watching Static Shock.
Oh, okay. You see,
I love Static Shock.
I don't know. I couldn't. Static Shock's another one that he was just a little. I feel like I got introduced to him when I was a little too old. That's the problem. Because to me, Static Shock was a little too campy for me.
Static Shock awesome as hell, bro.
Bro,
I appreciate Static. I appreciate Static.
Oh man.
Let me tell you, Kobe Bryant. No, listen, for real. We can't badmouth Static. We don't have many black superheroes.
Wait, pause. Hold on. I didn't badmouth him. I said I couldn't get into him because I thought he was a little campy. He was a little too campy for me, but I appreciate Static, is what I said. But for me at least, I was a little too old for Static. Like, I think if I was a little bit younger, I would have loved him. But I just couldn't get into Static.
I don't know. I recently watched it and loved it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. And I'll say this too. I'll even say this. I've seen every episode of Static. I saw all the episodes. But I'm sorry, because again, if you want to talk about especially black superheroes that I liked, I mean, especially with Static, I mean, I had two that I liked before him, which I always feel like one, they never did justice. War Machine, but I never felt like they ever did him justice at all. But if you want to talk about my favorite, well, it's not really a superhero, but my favorite black anti-hero of all time, Spawn. You see, like, you could like Static, but I'm a huge Spawn fan.
I could dig it. I don't like the fact that a black superhero from hell, but I like it.
Well, again, he wasn't. That's why I said he's not a superhero; he's an anti-hero. That's the difference. He's not a superhero. He's an anti-hero. So
I like that. I like that Todd McFarlane tried to sneak that in there too, because he was trying to. He did that on purpose by making him black. He talked about it in an interview.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I say Spawn by far. And okay, I don't want to go too far into this, but I'll just say this, man. Spawn is the only. Is one of the at that time was probably the only superhero that actually made it and actually survived. At least in the entire 90s, when everything else was failing, he's the only superhero to survive without the backing of the big two. And don't get me wrong, there was a few of them, like Ultra Force was there, but Ultra Force didn't survive. Wildcats, which I love Wildcats, they didn't survive, but Spawn survived. And even though he's not as big as what he is now, and everybody looks at the primary anti-hero as Deadpool, nah, man, you ain't got nothing on Spawn.
Wildcat. I'm trying to think of what's that.
It was an old show in the 90s.
So I'm thinking of Thundercats. I'm trying to think of Wildcats.
Wildcats, yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, Ultra Force, Wildcats, all with Image.
Oh, shit, I forgot about these motherfuckers.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And who's the one you remember? Spawn. Spawn is the one you remember. But yeah.
You said who else? You said Wildcats?
No, I no. My point of what I'm saying if you look at all the superheroes that came out in the 90s that didn't survive, the only one to survive the 90s, maybe not as big as what it used to be, but it was the greatest anti-hero, Spawn. Wildcats didn't survive, and I loved Wildcats. Ultra Force didn't survive, and I love Ultra Force. Cyber9, I freaking love that show. I love the animation. She didn't survive, but Spawn survived the 90s.
Huh.
So yeah. But anyways, with that being said, man, so we can end this topic and we can move on to the next one because we got a couple to go through tonight. Like I said, it was great to go back to our childhood and remember this stuff because, man, like I said, I'm sorry, but it's sad, man, because our childhood basically in just over or under a week, the big portion of our childhood basically got wiped out. So the best I could say, man, R.I.P. to the Green Ranger and the greatest Batman of all time. Right. JDF and Kevin Conroy, man. R.I.P. man, like because that one hurt, man. Because that was my childhood, man. Brother. Yeah, that one hurt. I ain't gonna lie. Those two going.
Hold up. Didn't Joker just die too?
No, he didn't.
Are you sure? Something happened with Joker. The original Joker. Something happened. I don't know what happened.
You talking about the original Joker?
Oh wait, no. My bad. I take that back. George Lucas does Joker.
No, he doesn't.
Luke does do the Joker.
You said George Lucas.
My bad, Luke. Luke from Star Wars, dude.
Yeah,
he does Joker. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. Wow, but anyways, like I said, I just want to say, man, R.I.P. to, like I said, F that. R.I.P. to the greatest Batman and the greatest Power Ranger of all time. So,
right.
But
anyways, R.I.P. to Kevin and Jason, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Tough.
I ain't got no liquor, so I'm pouring my water on the floor.
Tough time for our childhood, man. That's all I'll say, man. We had a tough time for our childhood.
Yeah.